Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome to this Retina UK information webinar. We are delighted to be joined this evening by Bhavini. Bhavini is a great friend of Retina UK, having been a volunteer for a number of our services over the last few years, and is currently one of our ambassadors. Bhavini is possibly well known to a number of people in the sight loss sector, particularly if you're in the London area. So whilst this evening's presentation is taking place, we will be collecting your questions. So if you'd like to ask a question of Bhavini, please type them in the Q&A section on the screens. So these questions will be asked on your behalf by Paula McGrath, who is sitting and waiting in the wings. So you can ask your questions if you're using a tablet device. Under reactions, you'll find the Q&A section, otherwise it's at the bottom of your screens. So we will endeavour to answer as many of your questions as we can. However, any questions we're not able to get to today will be followed up over the next couple of weeks. So I'm really looking forward to learning how I can kind of do some blending and things on my makeup. So thank you again for joining us, and without further ado, I'm delighted to introduce to you Bhavini.
Thank you, Matt. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining this evening's webinar. And before I start, I do want to point out that I'm not a makeup artist, I'm not a professional, I just love makeup. I just enjoy applying makeup, and I have been doing so for a number of years. So it's just things that I've picked up along the way, how I've had to adapt as my sight has deteriorated using the various products. So I'm just sort of sharing my tips and experiences that I've learned by trial and error, so to speak, along the years. So good evening, and thank you, Matt, for that introduction. And for those that don't know me, yes, I've been volunteering with Retina UK for a number of years. I'm currently the ambassador and chair of their London peer group meetings. So yeah, let's get started. So makeup, well, before makeup, it's really your base, your skincare routine. And it's really about preparing your skin. First of all, cleansing, toning, moisturizing, and not many people may do that. I must admit, I don't think I started until I was in my early 30s. I didn't start using cleansing or moisturizer. It was just moisturizers before that. And knowing what kind of cleansing that you like, you get so many different types, whether they're cream based, whether they're oil based, whether they're fragrant. So it really does depend on what you prefer. And you could just trial the cheaper brands first. We hear so much that the expensive brands are so much better, but not really. Just try what you like. You can go to Superdrugs, Boots, or any of your local supermarkets. You can buy cleansers from there. So it's really what suits you, and that really helps prepare the skin. You hear all the time by professionals that cleansing twice a day, morning and nights, but I generally just do it in the mornings. So you cleanse, tone, apply a bit of moisturizer, and that's your kind of skincare prep. The next step really is to really plan and prepare your makeup routine. And I guess it starts with your skin tone, what kind of your skin type you have. Is it oily, dry? Because you may pick up any brand, you may pick up any foundation, for example, but if it's not suited to your skin, you may find that it doesn't really work, it doesn't last long. So I guess the first step is knowing what your skin type is and your skin tone. And some people know, because it could be dry, it could be oily, but it could be dry and oily. So when I was choosing my foundation for the first time professionally, I just walked into a department store and spoke to a number of stands. So sadly, Debenhams doesn't exist anymore, but I used to love it because you used to get so many brands in one place and just have a chat with them. Say, look, I'm looking for a new foundation, and could you help me decide which one the best type is? Because even with foundation, it really does depend on your skin tone and your skin color. I didn't really know this until I started speaking to professionals. So you know, your skin could be yellow based or pink based or different colors. So your foundation is sought out for that choice. So your foundation, you know, so I did go to different stands and just got a bit of advice, just tips on, you know, they do half your face and they can still do that for you. They can apply the foundation on half of your face, and it's for them to see what without it how it looks, and they can choose the best foundation for you. And if you let them know that you want full coverage, you want medium coverage, do you want it to last all day, they'll ask you loads of questions on what kind of foundation you're looking for, basically, and they'll help you choose the best foundation for you. Now, it also depends on the application. So before, I didn't mind a bottle where you can just pour it into your hand, and I used to love applying it with my fingertips. And then I used to hate that because I couldn't see how much I was pouring, and I ended up wasting quite a lot. So when I had to purchase the same foundation, but several years later, they stopped doing the squeezy bottle, and it was just a pouring bottle. And I asked them if there was a pump, or, you know, was there a better way that I can actually make advantage and usage of my foundation without wasting it? So yes, they can give you a pump, and they wanted to charge me £5 extra for a pump. So I had to explain, look, it's not like a precious thing, or it's not something that I prefer. It's for me, for my accessibility needs, that I don't really want to waste and pour too much and having to try and pour it back and all that kind of things. So, if, you know, they do understand. So if you explain to them, they will give you pumps. If you find that you've got something that's not that accessible to you, just explain and they can try and help you. So that's how I chose the foundation that's best for me, by speaking to different brands and getting them to sort of help me choose and apply it onto my skin. Now, again, as my sight's deteriorated, looking into a mirror and applying the makeup, that doesn't work for me anymore. So my sight's deteriorated to a level where I can't even see my face anymore. I don't know what I look like. I think the way I remember myself, I think, is from about 10, 11 years ago, when I could see myself in the mirror, when I could see other people. So I may look completely different to my image in my mind. But now I've started using a sponge. So why I've started using a sponge to apply my foundation is so I know that I've covered all parts of my face. Before, using my fingertips, I could see in the mirror and I could tell where I needed to apply, where it didn't need that much, or where I needed to use a bit more. Now I use a sponge, so I know evenly across my face I've applied the foundation equally. So that's foundation. I'm happy to answer any questions at the end. I just thought I'd cover basic things in the presentation and then answer any questions people may have. If I'm going out to a wedding, or if I'm going to a function that's non-work or shopping or anything, somewhere special that I need my makeup to last all day, I do use a primer. And that's basically just to apply after the moisturizer, but before your foundation. It just helps it set on your face, and your makeup lasts a bit longer. And it's just a base where your foundation doesn't really come off that easily if you're gone partying and if you're going to sweat a little bit. So it just lasts a little bit longer. So primer, then foundation. And even with a foundation, you may prefer a mineral based. You may find easier like a liquid based foundation. So just play around with, go to different stores and ask them to see if you can just test a few different variations out and what you prefer, in terms of the way it feels on your face, the way you need to apply it, depending on how much sight you have. So then comes the powder. And again, I get the stands, the ladies at the counters, to help me choose which powder is best for me. I don't really like something too dry that's going to make my skin too dry. So I just use a powder base and apply it with a brush. Again, you can get different types of powders. So again, you can explain, and they will actually give you advice on what's best for you and your skin type and how long you want to wear it for. Then it comes to the eyes. So eyes, I sometimes, if I'm going to use it for long day wear, I do actually do my eyes first and then apply the foundation and then powder. If I'm just going to work or just general use, then I just quickly just do foundation, powder, and then eyes. So eyeshadow, I have a big palette with all these different types of colors. And I'll come back to that shortly. But I have smaller palettes, just cream-based palettes. So I know, like, just with 4 colors. And I know where the colors are situated because I've memorized them. Somebody had to tell me first, and now I know from dark to light, you know, different shades of bronze, gold, white, cream. And I just apply it with my fingers. I don't do it with my brush anymore. I used to use a brush when I could see, and I could blend it and apply the eyeshadow. So generally you start from the crease of your eye, the corner of your eye, and move along. I'm just sort of showing on the screen for those that may be able to see. Generally the darker color goes, the lighter color goes in the corner, the darker on the outside, and in the middle I just used to try and blend it. And that's when I could see. Now I use my fingertips, just so I can feel that I've got it on my finger and I could feel it going onto my eyelids. But that's again when I'm not going anywhere like a party or a wedding or anything like that. That's just somewhere where I just want to put eyeshadow on. I don't normally wear eyeshadow on a daily basis. I do have a very, very lovely husband who does my eye makeup for me when we are going to weddings, when we are going somewhere where I do need it to last the whole day. He's actually watched YouTube videos on how to do different kind of blending, different kind of, I forget the word that I'm looking for now, but when you want, you know, a bit more coverage on your eye, when you want it to create shadows and things like that. So he's actually watched YouTube channels, and one of my cousins is a makeup artist who he often, when we get together, ask tips. So that kind of helps. So I do get a bit of help when I do want to go out to a function. So he does help me with my eyeshadow. Using an eyeliner. So again, eyeliner, I used to use an eyeliner pencil. But then I used to find that when it became blunt and you need to sharpen it, sometimes, and maybe that's just me, I wasn't sharpening it properly. Sometimes you get the sharp bit and it became scratchy feeling on my eyes, and I just didn't like it anymore. So then I moved to liquid eyeliner. And that was fantastic because you could feel it going onto your eyelid, and I used to find that easier then. But again, when, you know, with RP, your sight deteriorates. So when it deteriorated more and I couldn't, you know, see properly in the mirror, I used to end up looking as if I've got a black eye. So I never used to use a liquid eyeliner again. So then I moved to, I hope it's okay to mention brands. So Bobbi Brown do this pot where you can dip a brush, and it's like a fiber tip brush. And it's the right thickness of, it gives you a medium thickness of eyeline on your eyelids. So you dip it into the pot and then you just follow. I used to hold my eyelashes down and just follow my eyelid where the eyeliner should go. And that way I knew that I wasn't going to over to above or anything. And it just felt really comfortable and easy to do. So I still do use that, a mixture of Bobbi Brown pot and the fiber tip pen. But also I also use a gel eyeliner. So again, it's a little bit more comfortable than a liquid. The gel is much, much easier than a liquid, I find, which again, you can just use your fingertips to hold your eyelashes down. So I know exactly above my eye where my nails finish. That's where I need to do it, and you could follow the eye line with the gel brush as well. And I find that it's got the right thickness as well, and you can get different brush heads, so you know if you want it really thin, that's the one you get. If you want it a bit thicker, then you can get the bigger thickness brush. So that's how I do eyeliner. And sometimes I do used to check it out using Be My Eyes. So if I was home alone and I had to go somewhere and there was no one around, like family wise, or none of my sisters I could FaceTime, I have used Be My Eyes in the past. And it's quite you know, when you get paired up with a male and you ask them that you want your makeup to be checked, or sometimes, like, you know, before I started using bump-ons, like before I even knew what bump-ons were, just to identify similar products that I had the different shape, but I wasn't sure of the color. So I used to just place a bump on a black eyeliner, and then the brown one uncovered, so I know which one was which. I have used Be My Eyes, and they've actually been really helpful and really supportive. Even the males, like, you know, the females love it. They give you tips, but the males actually, you know, just choosing the color. And if you explain to them about the eyeliner, like, just to make sure I've got no black blotches, or you know, I don't look as if I've just had a punch to the eye. So I have used Be My Eyes or FaceTiming family or friends just to give it a once over before I leave the house. I mentioned bump-on, so I'll just touch on the various ways I've kind of adapted my makeup bag. So if I do have products that are similar shape or are the same products but they're different colors, I have used bump-ons. I have used a rubber band. So for example, my lipstick and my lip liners, I've paired them up. It can get a little bit expensive because sometimes, you know, one lip liner could go with a couple of lipsticks. So I try and keep them nearby or together, but generally I just put them in a rubber band. So I know that my red lipstick, again, with my red lip liner, is together, pinks together, browns together, and so forth. So, and I did use a mirror that lit up around the edges, which help, and you can get mirrors that magnify as well. So I have gone through different stages of what's worked for me, and now where I don't see my face at all, I don't use anything. I just use my fingers and my sponges and trust that I look okay. I just apply it, because I think once you use makeup, and you have been doing so for a number of years, I think you get to grips with what feels right, what doesn't. You get used to applying various products on your face. And for parties, for nighttime, smoky eyes, that's the word I was looking for before. Like, he's learned how to do smoky eyes. I don't think I would ever attempt that. You can use glitter eyeliner just to give you a bit of oomph and a little bit of, like, if you're a bit scared to try new things, you're not sure how it looks on you, sometimes I just put some glitter eyeshadow on, or a glitter eyeliner, just to have a different look, instead of having the same look all the time. So depending on if it's an evening do, or if it's just going out for lunch with friends, depending on what it is, you can just do, just jazz your makeup up as you would jazz an outfit up with jewelry and accessories. You can jazz your makeup up by just having a little bit of sparkle to your eyes. And it's good for, Christmas is coming up. We've just had Diwali. So if you are going out, meeting friends, or going out for dinner, or going to parties and stuff, glitter makeup is really good. So with lipstick and lip liners, again, you get different types of lipstick. So you can get like really matte finishes, you can get glossy finishes, and I found that I don't really like glossy too much. I use dry matte, but it depends, it depends on your preference. Again, you can try different things out, what you like. They say, and I just find it too long, but they do say that applying lipstick with a brush lasts longer and it's much better. And then you just blot your lips with a tissue, and that's for long lasting wear. But again, I just apply it because you know the shape of your lips. It is just easier, and you follow your, sorry for those that can see the screen, I'm just demonstrating with my finger, your lip liner. I just follow the edge of I've got really small, thin lips, so I do apply lip liner just to try and, I just apply it against the edge of my lips, just follow my lip shape, and then just hide it in the corners, because sometimes it can just go a little bit over, and just hide it with a tissue or your fingertips. And that's how I do my lipstick and lip liner. And the last thing I do is apply concealer. So again, concealers goes with your foundation. So I did get advice from the makeup counter on which kind of color suits my face and against the foundation and powder that I'm using. So the concealer just goes, well, for me, I put it underneath my eyes because of the thing is, I don't even know if I've got dark circles, but I assume because I'm in my early 40s, I need to check. I just apply it underneath my eyes just to make sure that I haven't got any darkness around my from the applying the mascara and the eyeliner. Now I do sometimes apply I apply eyeliner at the top of my eyelid, but you can apply it in your inner line. I rarely do that. I only do that when again I'm going to weddings or reception parties and things like that, and that I do use my powder based or my not powder based, sorry, pencil eyeliner, or my sorry, not pencil, sorry, my Bobbi Brown or my gel liner for that, but mainly my Bobbi Brown because it's not wet, it's kind of dry finishing. So I do just follow my eye line at the bottom and that applies it. And the final thing that I do is my blusher. Now, again, I used to use a palette and just apply blusher with a brush. And you can do contouring, which again, I used to do with a powder brush. I can't do that anymore. I haven't got a powder brush anymore. I came across this product from Benefit, which is basically a tube, a flat tube, and it's got three kind of settings, well, not settings, three different colors in a line. And basically you apply it as if you were smiling, as you would apply a normal brush, and you just roll it onto your cheeks, on your cheekbone when you're smiling. And it already has the highlighter, the blush, and the contouring already set. So you just have to roll it. And I love it. It's the best thing I ever came across. Sadly, they stopped making them. So when I heard that they were stopping them, I purchased a lot of them. I purchased about 5 or 6. So they're still going. A number of years later, they're still going. But soon I will have to find something that works to replace that when I can't buy any more of those products. But that is a Benefit product. And if anyone does happen to find them, then please let me know. You can apply then finish setting spray. And again, I only do that when I'm going to a wedding or reception. It's not an everyday thing I do. And it's just a spray. You just spray across, close your eyes and just spray on your face. And it just makes your, like you would hairspray, it just makes your makeup last and stay in place. And that's kind of like the routine that I do. I'm happy to share any questions anyone may have, answer any questions anyone may have, but yeah, I hope that's been useful. It's just my experience that I've learned and adapted as my sight's deteriorated. So yeah, thank you, and I hope that's been useful.
Thank you, Bhavini. I've certainly learned a lot, and I'm sure other people will have done as well. You always look absolutely immaculate. So you obviously know what you're doing. You're the right person to be giving us some advice this evening. I've got a couple of questions for you. So I've got one here that somebody says, I've always taken a pride in my appearance and I'm worried that I won't be able to maintain that as my sight deteriorates. Have you got any thoughts or advice to share?
Yeah, and exactly like you, I don't know if I'd got to that stage where I was worried, but yes, I did. And that's how I think once I'm comfortable and confident in applying the makeup that I'm doing now, I think I rarely change. I've only had to change as my sight's deteriorated, as I've mentioned. So I stick to the routine that I have, because I know that works and I know I'm comfortable with doing that. But again, I only see light and dark now. My sight's deteriorated over the years and I don't even know what I look like anymore. But I still love putting makeup on. People always say to me, why do you put makeup on? It's because it makes me feel nice, makes me feel good. And even though I don't know what it looks like, I still feel that I've got it on. And I think going into the stores and getting the advice, sitting down with them, letting them tell you what products may be easier to apply, because they're the experts. They know the latest in the different products, and it's only when they tell you, you may not, well, I don't even know half the time all these products are out there. It's only when I go and speak to them. So it's all about trial and error. And if you explain to them that, you know, we have sight loss and, you know, I'm looking for something that I can apply myself at home, they'll be more than happy. And I've found in all of my experience, I've never had a bad experience. I've always found they're so willing to help you find the right product, help you apply it, give you tips. So I'd really recommend that if you can go into a department store or any makeup store and just book some time with them. I've generally never booked, so you can walk in. You may sometimes have to wait, but I would definitely recommend that.
Thank you, Bhavini. So great advice. Don't be afraid to go in and ask, and people will want to help you. So I've got another one here, Bhavini, just to say, actually, it would be if anybody's got anything they'd like to pop in as a question that's a more sort of their own tips or advice, and of course we're very happy to share other people's experiences this evening as well. So do pop those in the Q&A. I've got one here, Bhavini, which is, have you ever thought about having your makeup tattooed, or do you have any knowledge or experience of that?
Yeah, actually a lot of people have said that to me, because you can get your eyebrows done microbladed. I know you can get your eyeliner tattooed and get semi-permanent makeup done, but I don't want to look the same all the time, you know, like being Asian, being Indian, wearing different outfits, you want different looks. And I don't think being Asian actually comes into it. You know, you might have different events, daytime, nighttime looks, and yeah, I don't think that's the only reason I'd never go for that, is because I don't want to look the same all the time.
Thank you. Another question, have you got any tips or advice for young people starting out with makeup who have had sight loss from a young age and don't have the sighted experience of applying makeup?
Yeah, I guess if you're starting out, I think that's the same, like, you know, go into the stores and help find what works with you. If you've got friends, if you've got siblings or anyone that can just sort of give you suggestions on what looks nice on you. If you apply something, maybe share, if you know, just test things out and get their opinion on how it feels, how it looks and things, like how it feels for you applying your makeup on. But I'd say start off with one thing at a time. You know, if it's eyes you're interested in applying eyeliner, you know, test out a few products, and again, go into the stores. You know, they'll definitely help. You know, they'll definitely love to help. And you know, if you're on TikTok or Instagram, you know, follow a few makeup artists, because they're always sharing tips as well. I'm not really good at Instagram, so I don't really do that, but most of the artists are on Instagram. Maybe on TikTok as well, actually. I don't use TikTok at all, but, you know, follow a few people and they're always sharing tips, or for Halloween, how to do certain Halloween eyes, or Christmas coming up. So if there's particular people that you're interested in, just follow them, because they always share, and they also share sometimes like routines on how to get the look that they've just created as well. So you can pick up tips from artists by following them.
Thank you. Quite a specific question here, Bhavini. What is the best way to apply mascara?
Yes, actually, I was meant to share that. So what I want to, for those that can see, but I'm going to talk through it as well. I've got my finger out, pretending it's a mascara brush. And I did used to use the normal standard side mascaras, but recently I've been using the smaller ones. So they're approximately the size of your little finger, or maybe slightly bigger. And I've actually found that a little bit easier, because what I do is I hold out the mascara brush in front of my eyes, slowly bring it closer to my eyes until I can feel my eyelash on it, and then use it that way. That's to avoid the brush going on my cheek or anywhere else and just creating additional black marks that I don't need on my face. So that's how I found it easier. And using the smaller brush means you're not hovering the larger brush around. With the smaller brush, you've got more tighter grip on it, and it's, you know, it's small, so you can feel your eyelashes much more easier. And you can use a mascara curler brush if you want. Sorry, not brush, mascara curler if you want just to guarantee that it has applied and curled your eyelashes.
Perfect, thank you. Do you think you can tell by touch that you've covered your whole face, or does it get easier, or do you always have to ask someone to check?
So that's why I've started using a sponge now. I did used to just apply it with my fingertips, and possibly then I probably didn't cover my face as much. I could have missed some areas out. With a sponge, I've actually got complimented now, and people think I've just started wearing makeup, because I guess I'm doing my coverage a bit more better than I used to. So using a sponge has definitely helped. I use my foundation, it's a squeezy bottle, so I just squeeze a little bit onto the palm of my other hand, and with my fingertips I just apply an even amount all over my face, and then with a sponge I'll just go in and just make sure I've covered the whole of my face and my neck as well, because I think people say your neck is a little bit darker than it creates shadows and stuff, so it's just things I've learned over the way. So on your neck as well, a bit of foundation and powder.
How do you do eyebrows?
I don't do my eyebrows yet. So I do thread them, I do get them threaded, but in terms of I've been to a few salons where they've made my eyebrows really, really thin. So sometimes if I am going to weddings, I just I went to this event, a salon event, and I picked up this sort of eyebrow palette, and it's basically a template that you put over your eyebrow and just color it in. So I do that sometimes when I do have to go to weddings and stuff, or when they've just made my eyebrows just way too thin for my liking. So I do sometimes. So it's a template where you just put over your eyes, and either with your fingertips, or it does come with a thin brush, and you just sort of apply powder. But I know people do use eyeliner, a mascara brush, just to give it that fullness, a bit of thickness, a bit of darkness. So there's various options on whatever you prefer.
Thank you. Bhavini, just thought it might be worth picking up on something that you mentioned earlier, and that was Be My Eyes. Just in case anybody isn't familiar with Be My Eyes, would you just like to explain a bit more about that app and how it works and how you've used it?
Sure, yeah. So Be My Eyes is an app where once you've registered, you're in an app where there's sighted volunteers. There's sighted volunteers around the whole world. I think there's about 2 million volunteers on there, and you get paired up with one of them. So you basically log into the app, and you get paired up with a volunteer, and it's like FaceTime. It's like you're on a video call with them. And basically I used to use it home alone, and I've dropped something on the floor, and I've gone onto my hands and knees, and I'm still there half an hour later and I just can't find it. With a young toddler, you're scared that they're going to pick it up, put it into their mouths and stuff like that. So I have had I've used Be My Eyes for various things, just locating things, reading things, and I have used it to check my makeup, or just to read I've got the right color and things like that. And it's really good because you never know who you're going to get paired up with. It could be anywhere in the world, and they're really friendly. They're really nice bunch of people. So it's just an app where you get paired up to a sighted volunteer, and you can ask them to help you with almost anything.
And it's Be My Eyes.
Yes.
Just going back to the question that we had around mascara, where do you get the small mascara brush?
So this particular one is Estee Lauder, but I guess when you go into, say, Superdrug or Boots, when they've got all those stands of makeup brands, you can just check if other brands are doing it. I mean, this is nearly running out, so I will have to go and get a new one soon. So this just happens to be Estee Lauder because it was in a Christmas present, a pack that it came in. So I love it, and it's quite small, and it's just really handy and really easy to apply. But I guess other brands also do them. I just don't know because I haven't looked yet.
Okay, so again, something that you could pop into Boots or somewhere and ask
Yes.
Ask for some help with that.
Yeah.
We've got a suggestion here, some shared advice from somebody else on the webinar this evening. which is that tinting your eyebrows is another tip for colouring your eyebrows, which usually lasts for 6 to 8 weeks. So people may wish to consider whether that would be right for them.
Yeah. Something else, so these tips, you know, it's stuff that I've learned over the years, but actually when I used to be home with the young children, I'd always have TV on in the background because I didn't like being home alone all day, you know, when the kids have gone to sleep. I've always had TV on in the background, and I think what I found useful is QVC, not to sort of, you know, show any channels or anything, but I found that helpful because they showcase a lot of makeup. And what I loved about it is they used to describe the makeup. So before I even had the awareness and I guess the confidence as well in asking for help, going into a store as someone with sight loss that at that time probably didn't even use a cane, and just asking, can I get help with makeup? I used to watch QVC in the background, and they share kind of how to apply. They talk about the colors, what is good for certain skin types, skin colors, and things like that. And they used to also talk about describing how to apply certain products. So some of it has come from QVC just by the way they explained and demonstrated on the models, on the, you know, because they're trying to sell their products and demonstrate it. For me, that brought something else to me because the description made a lot of difference. And also this morning, you know, sometimes they have makeup experts on there and they're sort of sharing different products and how to apply and things like that. So yeah, those two channels, programs have kind of really helped as well.
Thank you. A comment here, again, another suggestion. I've seen some people use tape so they don't get eyeshadow in the wrong place, but I don't know what tape they use. I don't know whether you've come across that, Bhavini, or whether anybody else on the webinar has got any insight into that.
I haven't. No, I haven't. If anyone else has, yeah, I'd love to hear it.
Please, again, you know, if you can help us out with that, then please do pop that in the Q&A. Got a question here which is about preparing. The question is there anything you would have done earlier? So I guess this is trying to think back. Is there anything else that, you know, hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Is there anything else you wish you'd done earlier where you had more sight that would have better prepared you for the loss of your sight?
Yeah, I think maybe doing the eyeshadow bit actually, because I feel as if I'm a late bloomer to everything in my life. And yeah, I think eyeshadow, just learning the techniques on how to create certain looks, being a little bit more organized in terms of, like, now obviously I've had help in you know, the bonbons has really helped, organizing my makeup bag, organizing my lipsticks and things like that. That's come after where I've had drastic looks. I've gone out looking like probably Frankenstein, I don't know. So yeah, better preparation in terms of knowing about what was there to help me adapt. And I guess that's when sight loss has deteriorated to a level. Prior to that, I guess, yeah, just practicing a little bit more, you know, just practicing different looks, knowing about variety of different products that could have that suit my skin and things like that. But I think looking back, I don't think I regret anything, because now, you know, there's so much help and support out there, and products are changing all the time as well. So I don't think it's good preparing, but I don't think you can prepare for everything, because it's always adapt, like technology. Makeup's always adapting.
Yes. Just something you mentioned earlier, Bhavini, about the fact that your husband helps you with your makeup. Do you mind just sharing a little bit maybe about when you asked, or whether it was offered, and maybe how to start that conversation, whether it's with a partner, another family member, or a friend? How did you feel about that, and any advice to people about starting that conversation?
Yeah, I actually do remember how it started. So I remember we were going out, we were getting dressed to go to a wedding reception party, and I'd basically applied my eyeshadow incorrectly, and I'd got the wrong palette. They were identical, but they were completely the different shades of colors. And when he looked at me, he goes, "Oh, you're wearing a yellow and purple sari. How come you got red eyeshadow on?" I'm like, "What?" And basically I had to take all my makeup off on my eyes, and obviously that delayed us, and I was getting it wrong. And then obviously stress, and you just, I was panicking because I still had to get the girls ready. So he goes, "What do I need to do? I'll apply it." I'm like, "How are you going to apply it? You don't be silly." And he goes, "How hard can it be?" I said, "Look, I'm not a guinea pig or anything like that." But you know what? He checked it out on YouTube. He got a video up on how to apply eyeshadow, how to blend, and there's loads of tutorial videos on YouTube that he found, and he applied it. And everyone kept asking me that whole evening, did I get my makeup done professionally? So that was a bit boosted his confidence. And then because of the compliments that I was getting, obviously that boosted him up. So then from then on, he actually volunteers that, when are you going to do eyeshadow? I'll plan my getting ready around that. So
that's fantastic.
He secretly enjoys it.
Yes, I think he must, and I'm just amazed that he's so attentive that he even noticed that your eye makeup didn't match your outfit, because I'm not sure my husband would ever consider what actually went with what. So no, that's brilliant. The questions are coming in thick and fast, so we'll try and get through a few more of these. We've got a comment here that I've seen, can see, can't see, on Instagram. Use tape, which is great too with makeup. Thank you so much, Bhavini. You look amazing, and this has been so helpful. So that's lovely. And a tip there, can see, can't see. That might be someone that people want to have a look on if you're on Instagram.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll do.
Some advice here that you can buy templates to do winged eyeliner. You line them up, then fill the gap with eyeliner. Sounds great.
Yeah, it does.
Something else for people to look out for. A very specific question. Do you take your makeup off at night, or is it just cleansing in the morning? Honesty time, Bhavini, come on.
I'm sighing because I know I should take my makeup off, and do you know what? I don't all the time, and it's really, really bad, because it's like, the effects it can have on your skin. I do take it off when I've got heavy makeup on, so I do just use a wipe. And if it, your eye makeup really stays, because you use waterproof mascara and all that thing, so I do have to cleanse at night and just moisturize. On a day like this, I'll take my lipstick off, and if I've just got basic makeup off, then I don't know, but I really should. Don't listen to me. You really should take your makeup off.
I think you've just made a whole lot of people feel very much better, Bhavini, about the fact that you're not perfect, and you also don't always take your makeup off. A bit more information here on the tape. So yeah, seems quite a lot of interest around the tape. I think a few people will perhaps go away and have a look at that. I've once experienced a makeup artist using tape, and I think it's the white paper tape used around the eyes to avoid eyeshadow not going out of your eye area. So that would make sense, wouldn't it? Particularly if you're using a powder, you don't want it to be, sort of popping all over the place under your eyes and so on.
That's just another thing I've just remembered. So yeah, exactly, when you get that. So when you're applying powder or a powder based product on the brush, just tap it a little bit so the excess doesn't actually go all over your face. So that's something else. It may seem obvious, but at the point when I didn't know about it, I used to get it all over my face. So just tap your brush so you don't get the excess falling all over your face.
Great tip, thank you. Someone here is suggesting that the tape seems to be available on Amazon, Superdrug, and other places like Claire's Accessories. So yeah, it seems now we know it's out there. We should be able to find it if we go and have a little look.
Yeah.
So I think that actually takes us to just check the end of our questions for you, Bhavini. Is there anything else that you think you would like to share with people before we close the session?
No, just don't be scared. I think that's the main thing. And don't be scared of asking as well. And don't be scared to try different things. You won't know what suits you, what looks nice on you, what feels good on you until you've tried it. So if you've got someone that can help you at home, if not, then you got Be My Eyes or another app that you may wish to use. But yeah, just play around with things until you feel confident, you feel comfortable that you found the right product for you.
And it sounds like, just sort of have some fun with it, and maybe don't try and do it for the first time just before you're about to go out to a wedding or a big night out. Have a quiet evening at home and have a play, and see how you get on.
Absolutely.
Super. Okay, so we are now fast running out of time. We've had some lovely feedback from those on the webinar this evening. The theme that's coming through is it's amazing, and thank you so much. I think you've really helped boost people's confidence this evening, Bhavini, to go away and have a go. And
I want to see all of these people at the next conference with their makeup on.
Absolutely, yeah, we'll see you all at conference looking very, very glamorous. And yeah, please do keep sharing. You're probably aware, Retina UK, we've got lots of opportunities for you to have conversations with each other, whether it's at a local group, whether you join one of our online communities. So please do chip in and share this stuff. This is what the community is all about. It's supporting each other to find new ways of doing things, and having some fun as we do it. So Bhavini, I'm going to hand back to Matt now. So again, thank you so much for your time this evening. As I say, you always look amazing, and yeah, we really appreciate you sharing your tips with us.
Thank you, it's my pleasure.
Bhavini, thank you so much. That was very insightful as a man who's very in touch with his feminine side. That's absolutely fantastic. I learned a huge amount, particularly about your husband. So that was really, really insightful. Maybe I'll go and do my wife's makeup. How about that?
Yeah, let me know how it goes.
I will. So yeah, a huge thank you again, Bhavini. That was absolutely amazing. And thank you to everybody who's joined us on this webinar this evening. Just a little bit of a quick reminder that Retina UK is a registered charity. We receive no government funding, and we rely on all of your wonderful support to raise funds for much needed and vital research into the groundbreaking medical research, and also to deliver our services, including things like this webinar this evening. One way that you could help support Retina UK at the moment is we have our annual raffle. So raffle tickets have been sent out to many people. If you haven't had them, or you'd like some more, you can either contact our office and they can send some out to you. And for the first time this year, you can actually do the raffle online. So it's only £1 for each ticket. So you can visit our website, which is www.retinauk.org.uk/raffle, and all proceeds go towards funding our really, really important work. So again, that's retinauk.org.uk/raffle. So we will be sending out a follow-up email over the next couple of days, which will have details on how you can rewatch or listen to today's webinar with Bhavini. We'll also be seeking your feedback on today's session. We really, really do value that feedback. It helps us to develop future webinars and other services. So Bhavini, once again, thank you ever so much for your fantastic presentation this evening. Thank you to everybody who's joined us, and I bid you a good night. Thank you very much.